The Gilded Age, Episode 2, just delivered its most brutal family confrontation yet. After Gladys ran away, it caused so many problems through New York society. Episode 2 reveals the devastating length a mother will go to control her daughter's future. But here's what surprised me. Bertha Russell doesn't just threaten her enemies, she threatens her own daughter, gives information to the press, and destroys innocent families to get what she wants. By the end, you'll understand why the Duke's arrival is not just about an arranged marriage, it's something more. It's about a mother who's willing to sacrifice everything, including her daughter's happiness, to secure her social empire. My name is Christian from Being Premiere. Welcome and let's begin.
I'm as surprised as you are.
So episode 2 picks up with Gladys still missing, and what's fascinating is how quickly she was found, and how Bertha manipulates the situation of this family crisis and becomes a PR with the Duke announcement. Bertha tracks Gladys down to the Carlton house, but instead of just retrieving her daughter, she does something far more calculated. The conversation later between Mrs. Russell and Mrs. Carlton is not just about Gladys, it's Bertha delivering a systematic threat that shows exactly how the Russell power machine works. What makes this so interesting is how Bertha tells Mrs. Carlton how she threatens her own daughter, and how Mrs. Carlton said, "What type of woman are you? Like, what type of person?"
As a rule, I'm the sort of person who gets what she wants.
We can see the length she's willing to take. This reveals that to Bertha, her daughter is not a person to help and protect. She's an asset to control. And in my opinion, that's not a mother's love. The scenes with Billy and Gladys that we see are heartbreaking because you can see they both understand this is not just going to end well, and it doesn't. They're not just fighting Bertha's disapproval, they're fighting an entire system designed to crush exactly this. Now, this is when we see George return from his business trip completely shift the household dynamics. Now, Bertha has to manage not just her runaway daughter, but also keep her plan in secret. But her husband's reaction to everything that's happened in his absence and his plans with the bank. Here's where this episode gets really twisted. That conversation between George and Bertha reveals she's been manipulating the situation from multiple angles. As we know, she leaked the information to the newspapers. She's literally controlling the narrative about her own daughter while pretending to help her. This connects to the episode's title, What the Papers Say, because Bertha understands that controlling the story is far more powerful than controlling the people. She's not just fighting Billy, she's creating media to make sure public opinion helps her version of the events. While all this family drama unfolds, other storylines continue developing. And in the Ada household now, they adjust to their new HOH. Also, we see how Jack and Larry's clock business continues to expand, with Jack now getting a suit. So we see how he's evolving. The first step, as his identity is shifting, Jack and Larry's clock business continues to develop those class tension we have been seeing all season. Larry's still trying to balance his relationship with Marian while managing a business partnership with someone from a completely different social level. It's another example of how personal relationships get complicated when the money and social status are involved. But everything builds towards that final moment when the Duke arrives. What makes this so heartbreaking is the timing. Just when it seems like there may be hope for Gladys and Billy, the Duke's presence makes it clear that Bertha's plan is working. All her manipulation, all her threats, all her media control is leading to this moment where Gladys has to accept gets decided by forces completely beyond her control. The Duke's arrival is not just about an arranged marriage, it's a culmination of Bertha's systematic destruction of any alternative future for her daughter. That's what makes this episode so brutal. It's not just about romance or family drama, it's about power and how those who have it will use any means necessary to keep it, and a person that doesn't have power, and that is Oscar. His journey continues as he deals with the financial and social consequences of his previous decisions. His storyline runs parallel to Gladys in interesting ways. Both are dealing with the family expectations and limited options, but from completely different positions of power. The Ada household situation keeps evolving as Agnes and Ada navigate their home. What's fascinating is how this mirrors the Russell family. Both households are dealing with authority questions and changing power dynamics, as well as leadership, just from opposite directions. All these storylines feed back into the central question the episode is asking us: how much control do any of these characters actually have over their own lives? Whether it's Gladys fighting an arranged marriage, Aurora facing abandonment, or Oscar trying to maintain dignity, everyone's discovering that individual soul has very real limits in this world. This is why it's so heartbreaking for Oscar's storyline, is how it shows someone who's already lost everything, making one final desperate bet to save himself when John tells him, "Say that you'll double my money." Oscar is basically betting on his help because he has no other option left. And that's what makes the Duke arrival so symbolically powerful, is the moment when all these individual struggles get overwhelmed by forces none of them can control. So at the end of the episode is the end of hope. What makes it so powerful and heartbreaking is the timing. Everything we have watched throughout the episode, Gladys, Bailey's determination, even George's potential to intervene, all of it becomes irrelevant the moment the Duke steps into the Russell mansion. Even Bailey talking to Gladys that moment prior. The Duke changes the atmosphere from a family crisis to now an international obligation. Bertha has been orchestrating this moment throughout the entire episode. Every thread, every manipulation, every newspaper has been building towards this arrival. She's not just controlling her daughter anymore, she's created a situation where backing down will embarrass the Duke and damage carefully constructed social alliances. What's cruel is how the Duke arrival makes everyone just acceptable of Gladys' fate. Hey, maybe George can do something. We will have to wait and see in the next episode. As the end, that sense of what's going to happen now, we will see in that dinner. Now, something that I noticed is how there's something else. The fact that the Duke arrives with a lawyer suggests that this is not just a social visit or even a simple marriage proposal. This is a business, a plan, and Bertha has been hiding the true terms of whatever deal she's made with the Duke. When George asked her, why has he brought a lawyer from England? What do you promise him? And that's something that, hey, and Bertha's response reveals that she has been conducting secret negotiations behind her husband's back. This is not just about arranging a marriage. She's been making financial commitments or promises that require legal documentation. The lawyer presence suggests that there are more contracts, possibly around huge amounts of money, as well as financial settlements. This completely reframes the Duke's arrival. He's not just coming to marry Gladys, he's coming to collect on whatever deal Bertha made to secure his agreement to the marriage. Now George is in an impossible position now. He said he's gonna help, but how and why? I think George is going to do what he always does when cornered. He's going to take control of the deal. He cannot back out now without creating an international incident, but he's also not going to let Bertha allow that marriage. My guess is that he will do something else. So let me know in the comments, do you think Gladys has any way out of the situation, or has he finally won completely? Because after watching this episode, I'm not sure there's any move left that can save her. My name is Christian from the Premiere, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.